Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my absolute favorite blurring foundations. So I'm kind of doing this whole blurring series on my channel. One of the things I talk about the most in my channel is how I really like foundations to have a smoothing, filtered, and blurred effect. I just really like the look of my skin to be very smooth and look very poreless. However, I want my skin to look still very natural and beautiful in person. I don't want it to look like I'm wearing makeup. So I go for something that's typically not fuller coverage. I like a light coverage, but I like something with those beautiful perfecting properties that have that technology that blur and filter the skin without it having a ton of pigment. So these types of foundations maybe refract the light in a way where it blurs the skin so that I therefore don't need as much coverage, but it's just blurring the texture of my skin. So I still really like to retain that skin-like appearance. I want my skin to look like skin in person. I want that my skin but better, really beauty enhancing makeup. So all these foundations are going to reflect that, and I thought I would just share my top foundations that will give you that sort of look. Again, without that full coverage look, so you're not going to look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So if you guys want to see all my favorite blurring foundations for that soft focus effect, just keep watching. So I'm going to start out with the lightest coverage. One of my favorite blurring foundation type products, I don't even know if I'd classify this as a foundation. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. And what I really love about this honestly is just like putting a filter over your skin. So this doesn't even look like you're wearing makeup. It is virtually no coverage. So this is very, very sheer. But what it does is it just softens the look of your skin. So it just softens the look of texture, of pores, of any sort of redness on your skin, and just makes the texture of your skin look even better without it being a foundation, without you having a ton of coverage on your skin. So this really is just a skin perfecting foundation in that you're not adding that coverage, but your skin texture looks better. This is such a unique foundation, and I love to wear this when, again, I don't want it to look like I'm wearing makeup. So this is just a great everyday foundation. This is great for the summertime, great all year round, to be honest. But this is something I like to go for when I want that filtered look without it even looking like I've applied any makeup on my skin. So this is one of my absolute favorite products for that effect. Next on my list is something that I have loved and repurchased. This is the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation. So the brand actually resent me the shade number 5. I have already gone through a full one, and then I repurchased the shade number 10 because these two together kind of are my perfect match. But this foundation is really great as well. This is the type of foundation that's going to give you a light, buildable to light medium coverage. You're never going to get past a medium coverage, but this is so beautiful on the skin. And again, it's skin perfecting without you having a ton of coverage on your skin. This really just does make your complexion look even better. It enhances your skin. It makes you look even more beautiful in person. And it has this beautiful soft focus effect. It almost tricks the light because there's this softening property to this foundation where there's a little bit of light reflection, but it's not shimmery at all. You're not going to see any shimmer particles, but that light reflection just tricks the eye, so it makes your skin look even smoother in person. It really does reduce the appearance of pores. This is one of my favorite skin flattering foundations where everything just looks smooth and blurred and beautiful without you looking like you're wearing a lot of makeup. Such a great foundation. And I'm so happy that I repurchased this because there's truly nothing like it when you want your skin to look like skin and just look naturally beautiful and just flawless. So I love this one. This Clé de Peau foundation is another one of my absolute favorites. This is the Clé de Peau The Foundation. It is the most luxurious, beautiful packaging. This one, I would say, is a creamier consistency. So this almost just feels like a tinted cream. It is a thicker texture, but I love this thicker texture because it just lays on the skin and absolutely fills in any lines, any pores, anything like that. I feel like if you had wrinkles, this would fill in your wrinkles as well because that thicker texture just seems to smooth over the skin in such a way. It is so gorgeous. This is so blurring on the skin and so perfecting, but again, it's perfecting where it's not adding coverage. It's perfecting just the texture of your skin and making everything look so smooth and so creamy and so soft and just beautiful. One of the best pore perfecting products that I have, but I really like this as well because it's not, sometimes when you think of like something that's going to be pore perfecting, you're thinking it's going to be really mattifying. This is not. This is hydrating on the skin, but it's so comfortable. It's not too hydrating where it's going to look greasy on the skin. I feel like this is definitely better dry, normal skin. I think with combo you could use this, If you have oily skin and you've tried this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I think you still could get it to work if you powdered your skin and used a mattifying primer. But truly, how this makes my skin look, it is so special. It is so beautiful. This might be one of my favorite foundations for how it looks on the skin, because there's just nothing like this foundation. Your skin just looks so creamy and smooth and plump, and there's no lines. It's such a fantastic foundation. If you want that plump, youthful, but perfected skin, absolutely recommend this one. Next on the list, we have the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint. I'm sure you won't be surprised by this. This is just the most elegant foundation. It's such a sophisticated finish foundation. This is definitely more of a satin finish that has a little bit of a glow to it, but how it lays on the skin, again, it really perfects the skin. It smooths over pores and imperfections and just gives you that textureless look. So your skin looks refined and soft focus and beautiful. The way this just, it has like a candle-like glow to it. There's just such a beautiful, beautiful finish. It's, like I said, it's just an elegant foundation. And I love how my skin looks every time I wear this. This, I would say, is a light buildable to medium coverage. You can't get past medium coverage, but this truly does such a great job if you are someone with drier or mature skin, but you still want that pore perfected look. It has a little bit more coverage. Then I would highly recommend this. This is just my favorite go-to foundations. If I don't know what foundation to reach for, I know that my foundation or my skin will always look beautiful when I wear this. I do get a lot of compliments on my skin when I wear this, and I think that's a really nice thing, to get a compliment on your skin versus your makeup. And that's when I know a foundation is really beautiful, is when someone is complimenting my skin and how beautifully perfected it looks. And I just love this one. My next favorite is the Dior Capture Total Super Potent Serum Foundation. Now I'm just going to quickly mention this one because I do believe it looks like they're reformulating this. It's harder to find, but I just want to mention how beautifully perfected your skin looks. This is so gorgeous. This is more of that natural velvet finish on me, and it really does just blur the appearance of pores and texture. I actually had someone, I went to the Bay, I live in Canada, and I went to a Chanel counter, and the lady at the Chanel counter was like, oh my gosh, your skin, you have the most beautiful skin texture that I've ever seen, which is like the nicest compliment ever. And I was wearing this foundation, and I was like, no, I swear it's this foundation. Like, it just blurs the appearance of your skin and the texture of your skin. It is so good. I just love this one. When I want to just feel my best, this is a foundation I reach for, because again, it's not too dewy, it's not too matte, it's that perfect in between. It's that perfect Goldilocks formula where it lays right in the middle, and it's that perfect level of coverage. I would say it's a light coverage, buildable to a light medium coverage. But again, you can't get past that medium coverage, but it's just so gorgeous on the skin. And this is one of the most long-wearing blurring perfections that I have, blurring foundations that I have as well. Love this one. This foundation is something that I really want to repurchase, but Clé de Peau just has been out of stock of this one for so long. This is the Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. So I'm actually out of this bottle, but I'm just holding on to it because I do want to repurchase it. I wear the shade 030 in this formula, and I love this on the skin. I would say this is very, very similar to the Dior Super Potent Serum Foundation. You might be able to get just a little bit more coverage out of this one. And this is so gorgeous on the skin as well. This has such great longevity. This is a foundation I can trust for any occasion. It's a foundation I can wear during the summer, but also in the winter as well, because it wears beautifully all year round. And when you apply it to the skin, the way it softens and just blurs your skin as well is so beautiful. It's different than the Clé de Peau foundation because, like I said, that one's quite rich and a little thicker. This has quite a beautiful thin consistency, but that thin consistency just smooths on the skin so beautifully and elegantly. It just blurs over those lines. It blurs over texture. And if you're looking for something with just a little bit more coverage, this is a great option. And it does do a fantastic job of just adding that filtered effect to your skin. So I love this one as well. And then this next one, this is the Prada Reveal Foundation. This is a newcomer to me. This is something I picked up at Selfridges. It's not available in Canada currently, but if you are in the US, you can actually buy this at Sephora now. It's just not available for us in Canada. But this is the Reveal Foundation. Like I said, I wear the shade MN40. And this is one of the most beautiful foundations I've ever tried. This might actually become a holy grail. I just feel like it's still new, still too new to declare it as a holy grail. But I love this one because this has the perfect finish. It is the perfect your skin but better finish. Like, it just looks like your skin but better. The finish is that velvet finish, so it's not too dewy, it's not too matte, and it has the perfect level of coverage. Now, it doesn't get buildable to like a full coverage, but I would say it's buildable to a medium coverage, and your skin just looks so gorgeous when you apply it. It smooths over all the texture on your skin. This I was amazed with when I applied on my skin, because honestly, your pores just disappear when you apply this product. It is so, so good. I feel like it has that soft focus property to it, so your skin does just look more blurred, but it doesn't have that same light refracting pigments like the Surratt or the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence. Those ones have a little bit more glow and almost that light refracting property to it. This one just has this blurring technology in it where your skin just looks soft focus and smooth and so gorgeous. This has fantastic longevity as well, so when I want my makeup to stand up all day long but keep that blurred appearance all day long, this is the foundation I reach for. Really a standout foundation. I highly recommend trying it out if you haven't already. It's gorgeous. And then we're reaching into fuller coverage categories over here. So another one that is one of my favorites is this Peau Beauté, the Radiant Cushion Foundation Dewy in the shade 030. This, I will say, runs a little bit deeper than some of the other foundations I mentioned, but this is absolutely gorgeous on the skin. This is definitely a medium buildable to a fuller coverage foundation, but even though you start off with that medium coverage, it still looks very skin-like. This is a gorgeous, it's called the Dewy foundation, but I would say it's more of a satin finish. I don't think it's too dewy on the skin, but this is another foundation where it has that texture to it where it just smooths over the skin. So it almost, not that it's a thick texture at all, like it doesn't look thick, but because of that texture, it just smooths over any areas of pores or any texture or anything like that. And your skin just looks so creamy and so soft and so supple. So when I want my skin to look really healthy and beautiful and just fantastic, I love pulling for this foundation because your skin just looks absolutely divine with this foundation on, and just the effect it gives your skin is beautiful as well. So this is another favorite blurring foundation. And I also wanted to mention the Chantecaille Future Cushion Foundation because I feel like if you're someone with oilier skin, like if you have dry or mature skin, I'd go for the Peau, but if you have oily skin, I would go for the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion. I feel like it gives you the same beautiful blurred finish that Peau one does, but this is just a little bit more mattifying on the skin. This is just a little hint too mattifying for me, but I feel like, again, for my oilier girls or people with oilier combo skin, this would be a great one because it is really beautiful, and even though it has that fuller coverage, not completely full, but fuller than the other foundations I mentioned, it still looks really nice and skin-like, and it's not too heavy of a foundation, and you still get that gorgeous blurred effect, so I wanted to mention this. And then a foundation I reach for when I want my skin to look really perfected for maybe a special occasion. This is the Chanel Sublimage Teint foundation. I have the shade BD41, so it's a warmer tone, and I really like this foundation for its blurring capability. So I would say the job that this does blurring your skin is so great. This is probably one of my favorite blurring foundations when I want that really perfected look, because this also gives the coverage as well. So like I said, I tend to reserve this for more special occasions. The interesting thing about this foundation is I don't love how it looks when I first apply it on the skin, but I love how it looks after like 3 or 4 hours. It tends to just melt into the skin after a few hours. And that's when you really see where this foundation shines, is after you've worn it in a little bit. But even as you've worn this foundation in, you still retain that blurring technology. You still retain that really smooth effect to your skin. So your skin just remains consistent. And I love that because sometimes if a product starts off looking blurry, that doesn't mean at the end of 8 hours it is going to look that same way. But with this foundation, it really does. So if you're looking for something long wearing that's just going to hold up really well for a special occasion when you want your skin to look special, I would reach for this. I do want to say this looks a little bit more makeup-y than some of the other foundations I've mentioned. Like you can see product on your skin. It's not one of those undetectable foundations, but this is really pretty if you're looking for something for photos or, like I said, a more special occasion when you want your skin to just look a little bit more perfected. I do recommend this one. And then I just have one more to mention, and again, it's in a very similar vein to the Sublimage Teint. It's the Peau. This is the Radiant Cream Foundation. Honestly, super, super similar to the Teint. It's a thicker foundation. Both of those have that kind of thick consistency. But because it's that thicker consistency, I think it just does that great job of smoothing over the skin. So it just smooths over texture, kind of like what I mentioned about some other foundations. versus if you have a really thin foundation, sometimes it can just settle in lines a little bit easier. So if you're someone that does have lines or pores, these types of foundations won't actually settle into them. It will just smooth right over. So I love this as well because I think this one just has a little bit more of that skin-like property in comparison to the Le Teint. This one is a little bit more mattifying on the skin, where this one is just a little bit more dewy on the skin, but they have that same beautiful soft focus blurred appearance. These look virtually the same on the skin, except for this one's just more hydrating and this one's more matte on the skin. And this one I like when I apply it right away. It doesn't need to melt into the skin, but this one still does look beautiful after a few hours. I will say that it's not incredibly long wearing. Like I can't wear this one for 12 hours because I do feel it gets a little bit shinier. So those are where those two foundations differ, but this is absolutely gorgeous on the skin when I want my skin to look more flawless. One of my other favorite blurring foundation products, and this is actually not a foundation, this is the Chantecaille Anti-Aging Face Tint. This just comes in one shade. I really hope they release it in other shades. I actually have gone completely through this. I'm finished this now. But this, what it does, it gives your skin the most soft, focused, filtered effect. It is really beautiful, and I like to use this as a replacement for a foundation, especially in the summertime, because it almost just blends into my skin in the summertime. And what it does is it just really does blur the skin. It just gives your skin a little bit of a tint. It's not going to add any coverage, but it will add color. And so it blurs the skin, and therefore you don't require any sort of coverage over top. That is what I find, especially if I am going for that no makeup. This is just such an interesting, unique product. So it's not technically a foundation because it's not giving you coverage, but it is perfecting your skin. It's perfecting the texture of your skin and just perfecting the smoothness of your skin. So very, very interesting product. It's something I like to use in lieu of a foundation or in lieu of a tinted moisturizer when I want that really natural look. So I thought I'd just mention this as a blurring foundation because it's something I really like to use specifically in the summertime as a replacement. It is so great. You can also mix this in with your foundations if you want to deepen up a foundation. And again, it will add just a little bit of that blurred effect. And another reason I love this is because it dries down. So you don't need to set this one with powder. It's going to set down to a really nice, beautiful, natural finish. This is great. But those are my absolute favorite blurring foundations. Again, I feel like I was quite repetitive in my wordings because it's kind of hard to describe foundations when you're talking about why you love them being blurring. You get it. All those foundations are blurring. So hopefully it wasn't too repetitive. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below your favorite blurring foundations because I would love to try your favorites. You guys have the best suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.